Hello, Taki traders. Welcome to the 11th of June. As you can see, the main headlines are second wave fears and how this is going to take the market. We had the Fed meeting as well. The direction of the economy will be a slower recovery than some people are thinking. People talking V, W, U, L-shaped. Whichever way, it is clearly going to take longer to recover. But I don't know if it's really longer. It was to be expected. Anyway, that has had a bit of a hard day on the shares. We did say this last week and leading into this week that it was time to take some money off the table and to put it into some of these gold miners, which was a great strategy. Definitely yielded very good dividends and profits for us. It's a good way to hedge as well. If you don't want to get direct, into the direct commodity through a CFD or some other hedge instrument, simply buying a company with high exposure is nice, and you can avoid a lot of pain and bank some profit in the process. Moving forward, I expect maybe another day of sideways motion tomorrow, but at some point this will retire and head upwards again. Looking here, it looks quite drastic, but when we rewind, you can see we've had very good run up. Same on the S&P 500. From these bottoms here, almost recovering to where we were. So some sort of purchase back was overdue. RSI is looking a bit down. Definitely a buy the dip from what I'm seeing at the moment. There's another job announcement coming out tonight. See how that goes, and then looking into buying the dip on this one. I still feel longer term, not an issue with that. Gold as well benefited. Bouncing us off the fib line here, which we can see. I still think this is heading towards 1800 over the medium term, but you can see the volatility that is existing within gold, and that's likely to continue. Bit of an RSI there. I mentioned one of my pods a few weeks ago that anytime RSI is up on gold, I'm looking at a short. Didn't quite get there this time, but definitely keeping in mind. That said, I'm still overly bullish and be very careful against shorting against the trend. As always, it's probably safer more to buy the dip than it is to short the top. But your strategy, your equity, see how you go. At the end of the day, gold is extremely volatile. Whether you short or long here, the chance that it's going to hit this price point again is almost guaranteed, as much as what anything. On energy markets, oil continued that. I was expecting a bit more of a come down on oil, just given with demand, and there is. In fact, let's go to one of my favorite websites for oil. I've even checked these headlines today. So I remember reading something about. Imagine that. Goldman Sachs, go. There was a headline somewhere talking about the amount of oil in storage, and it's looking bleak again. So there is maybe it's this one here. There's definitely a chance for oil to have a violent retracement. Don't know about negative again. Nothing that there. Oh, that Chestgate Energy doubling its. What do? They did a reverse stock split or something, just to stay on the exchange. Always always a warning for a company. Anyway, natural gas, when you zoom out, still looking slightly bearish, but being careful. We are getting warmer weather coming across the US, but production's also increasing. LNG exports are decreasing. Some have been stopped, and there's also possibilities of LNG imports coming into the States. So it could be a very interesting summer. There's normally a bit of a rally in summer, but it's tough at the moment, and maybe it's going to pump one way or the other. But these little spikes down is what I'm looking at. Going along on those little spikes, taking a nice little 2-3% profit is the way I'm playing NatGas at the moment. If there's any complete breakdown, I would probably take a bigger position long. I'm just worried at the moment that these headwinds could cause, especially around contract expiry in a few weeks, there could be some decent downward pressure. That said, once prolonged heat comes in, we're going to be going back to $2, $2.10, and then onwards. And then onto our crypto market. ETH has been holding quite well. I thought it would come down from its gains. This is US dollars, hit around that 250 mark. So it's been sitting beautifully up from this 200 when it was hit around 190. Earlier was that only 23rd of May. And that was a buying opportunity we were talking about. And then Bitcoin as well. I mean, it's not very volatile for Bitcoin at all. You can see your trend lines. We can see the moving averages. Sorry, that trend line, I haven't actually adjusted it. So just feel free to... There was something I put in just more to see the strength of where it was going. And I'm still seeing strength in the Bitcoin overall. Just taking these nice... this is more of a long hold for me. More of my shorter... shorter time frames on some of the altcoins. There's been some very good returns on gas. Also on engine coin popped up a little bit as well. Well, there's charts in front of me at the moment, but yeah. And just to give a general idea of what the crypto market's doing, here's your two headlines. One is saying bullish, one saying dump incoming. So obviously there's a good bit of congestion of what's going to happen, and that really is because for Bitcoin this is not really volatile at all, and that's when something big's going to happen. Do we hit that smash up to 1200? I've been doing my dollar cost averaging for Bitcoin. Every time there's been a dip, I've just been buying that little bit more, accumulating more and more of these dips, sitting at a nice profit at the moment. If it dumps down, I'm just going to accumulate some more, and I've got my take profit just under 12,000, sorry, because at some point, even if it gets up there, there'll be some sort of rejection, always is. So there's the market watch for this week. Next 24 to 4 hours, seeing out the week, I'm still expecting the stocks to probably maybe just sideways. I don't expect any full recovery for this week. Then it's going to be need to be a bit of good news coming in about restrictions being lifted, and probably some other fundamental. Definitely it's shaking up the market a little bit, and I think also people just wanted an excuse to get out of the market. Oil watching, just watching if there is any violent reversal on that to get back into that. Again, checking the fundamentals. NatGas buying the dip, watching for that surge and accumulating Bitcoin as we go. So happy trading, and we will check in shortly.